My name is Vic Copan, and I'm Professor of Biblical Studies at Palm Beach Atlantic University. This week in Real Questions, I'm answering the question, why do we pray? And that is a great question. A lot of us struggle with prayer. A number of things have fascinated me recently related to prayer, and I'll mention three of them. The first is the phenomenon researchers have documented that children intuitively believe in God. Numerous scholars have conducted research in every part of the globe, and they universally observe that children inherently believe in a God who created the world, and that children have this inner compulsion to reach out to this God and communicate with him. And even as an adult, I identify with that. I visit a place filled with spectacular beauty, or I see a sunset that takes my breath away, or I'm driving out in the country late at night, and the sky's filled with millions of sparkling stars, and I can't help but be filled with awe, and I sense this desire just welling up from deep within me to say thank you to someone. A second thing recently fascinated me. A friend of mine who considers himself an atheist told me he grew up in a nominally religious home. As a child, he was taught to pray what Christians call the Lord's Prayer before he went to bed. Interestingly, even though he doesn't believe in God anymore, he still recites this prayer to himself when he goes to sleep at night. So I asked him why he still does that when he doesn't believe in God. He told me he really doesn't know why, but every time he does it, he experiences a sense of peace and comfort. Now that's intriguing. It makes me think that there's something inside of him that wants to believe there is a God who's there with him, and that his own heart is telling him when he looks up toward heaven, "You are here with me." A third thing also fascinates me. You may have heard the expression foxhole prayers. Where does this idea come from? Well, it seems the earliest mention of this goes back to a World War I chaplain who wrote this in a letter to his church back home. "We have no atheists in the trenches here. Men are not ashamed to say that though they never prayed before, they pray now with all their hearts." Along the same lines, in a newspaper article from World War II, a reporter wrote, "When the bombs come, everyone lies on the ground and prays aloud, regardless of who is around." But while this idea of foxhole prayers is fairly recent, the idea itself can be traced back as far as the philosopher Plato in 400 BC, who observed that even atheists pray when encountering danger. It seems then that it's just part of being human that when we encounter difficulty, we lift our eyes toward heaven and ask for help. And these three things are actually the heart of what prayer is. Three phrases: thank you, I'm grateful you're here with me, and help me. Now, the message of Christianity is that in the person of Jesus, the God who created us has drawn near to us and invites us into a relationship with him, where we can talk with him, which is all that prayer is. And if you don't know how to do that, here's how you can start. Just lift up your eyes toward heaven and say, "Thank you. I'm grateful you're here with me, and help me." Well, thanks for listening. If you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, subscribe to the Community of Hope YouTube channel, or visit our website.